A very good morning, everyone. In our previous sessions, we have completed two topics which are based on the unit number 3. The name of unit is Developing an SEO friendly website, and the topics which we have covered are making site accessible to search engines and creating an optimal informational architecture. So we have completed these two topics based on the unit number 3, and you just need to refer 7 videos which are based on these two topics. We are going to start new topic, that is root domain, subdomain and microsites in our today's session. So let us start with the root domain. Now see, when you are going to create your website and when you are going to create the structure of your website, at that time first of all you just need to decide that what are the name of domain, what are the subdomains you are going to use, and what are the simple sites or what are the pages you are going to develop. So that thing you need to decide while you are going to structure your website. So that is the first question which arise in your mind when you are going to structure your website, that is what are the root domains, what is the name of your root domain, what is subfolder, what are the subdomain even, and what are the pages which you are going to develop within the website. That now individual pages or URL. So over here we have taken one example, http colon slash slash www.yourdomain.com. Inside that we have created one page called page.html. That means this page.html is a part of yourdomain.com. So over here we are able to see that this is called file name and this is called URL of your website. So the file name must be unique in this case, right? So you need to be careful while you are using URL or while you are going to create individual pages regarding the website. At that time that pages must be created uniquely or it can be identified by uniquely on the server. Next is called subfolder. The subfolder is nothing but you have created one folder within the URL, right, or within the domain. Over here we have taken the example http colon slash slash www.yourdomain.com. Inside that we have created one folder called blog. Inside that post17.html. So from this particular link you are able to see that post17.html is the individual pages which is related with the URL. Similarly blog is the subfolder, right? So you see, when to create subfolder, when you want to put, when you are having lots of pages inside one particular category, at that time you just need to create one folder and inside folder you are able to put the similar file which is related with the particular folder. Say for example, if my project is based on the category, at that time there are lots of pages which are related with the category, right? So what I will do, I will create one folder called category and I am going to put the files which is related with the folder category. So and generally when your site contains lots of files and you just want to create different types of category, at that time you can create subfolder inside particular domain, and generally it is used for the inheritance purpose, right? Let me read out the points which are listed in this particular slide. We have started with the topic root domain, subdomain and microsites. Now, among the common questions that arise when structuring a website or restructuring one are whether to host content on a new domain, when to use subfolder, and when to employ micro sites. Now, see, structuring and restructuring means what? Structuring means your website is already developed before you are going to apply the strategy of SEO, and restructuring means what? That you are going to create new particular website on the domain, right? So that is called structuring and restructuring. So structuring is new website and restructuring means the website which is already developed previously. Now, first question is what? Whether to host the content on a new domain. Content on new domain means whatever the content you are going to put inside the website, that content would be available on the old domain or presently working domain, or you want to bring it into the new domain. That thing you need to decide. Now, when to use subfolder? As I have told you that if my website contains lots of pages, at that time it is easy to maintain such kind of website using concept of subfolders. Now, individual pages or URL. What is the full form of URL? That is Uniform Resource Locator. That is the full form of URL, right? So these are the most basic elements of the website, that is file names, much like those that had been found on your computers for years, which indicates a unique document. Remember one thing, when you are going to give the name of your file, which must be unique, and you can refer your documents with the help of name of files, right? So it is stored on the computer and you can refer such kind of document after the several years with the name of your file. And over here we have taken the example www.yourdomain.com, and inside that we have created one page which is called page.html. So page.html is the file name of available on this particular URL. Next is called subfolder. The folder structures that websites use can also inherit or be assigned metrics by search engine. In the URL http www.yourdomain.com blog post17.html. Over here blog is the subfolder and post17.html is the name of file which is created inside the subfolder called blog. So with the help of subfolder you can easily access the pages which is related with the subfolder. Next is called subdomains, fully qualified domains and third level domains. Now what is the full form of FQD? That is fully qualified domain. So that thing you need to mug up. FQD's full form is what? Fully qualified domain, right? So see, when to use subdomain and when to use subfolder, that we are going to discuss later on. First of all, subdomain means what? See, when you are damn sure that when I am going to create subdomain from this particular website and I am able to create traffic on that traffic with the help of that subdomain, at that time you can create subdomain of your website, right? So basically there are three kinds of domain which are available on the website, right? And over here we have taken the example of http colon / blog.yourdomain.com. Inside that again we have created one file which is called page.html. So your domain is the name of our domain and blog is the name of subdomain, right? And I know that from the blog subdomain I can easily catch the traffic from the internet, right? So for such purpose I have created blog, which stands for subdomain, or which is the example of subdomain. Say for example, map is the subdomain of Google. How? When you are going to apply the link like map.google.com, right? So in this case, map is the feature through which majority of people is going to search, right? So you just need to create such kind of subdomain through which you are able to access easily get the traffic on the website. The top level domain, that is the full form of TLD, right? FQD stands for fully qualified domain and TLD stands for top level domain. And over here, blog.yourdomain.com, in this particular URL, .com is it is the top level domain, right? Second level domain is what? Your domain. Over here, blog.yourdomain. So this is called second level domain, and third level domain is called subdomain, and subdomain means what? Blog. So remember one thing, blog.yourdomain.com. In this particular domain, the first level or top level domain is called .com, second level domain is called your domain, and blog stands for third level, or we can say it is called subdomain, right? So third level domain can be referred as a subdomain also, and you can refer it with the help of www, that is the that stands for World Wide Web. So what is the concept of subdomain, fully qualified domain or third level domain? FQD stands for fully qualified domain. So first of all, you just need to take example like http blog.yourdomain.com. Inside that we have created one page called page.html. In this we have used three different kinds of domain. The first level or top level domain is what? That is .com. .com, with the help of top level domain, you are able to get that this particular website is created for which purpose, right? .com stands for commercial purpose. Suppose you are going to apply .edu, at that time that particular website is developed for the educational purpose. So from the top level domain, you are easily able to get for which purpose the website has been developed. Next is called second level domain, and that is your domain. And next is called third level domain, and over here in our example, blog is the third level domain. Generally remember one thing, that you just need to use the concept of subdomain in only the case if you are sure that with the help of this subdomain I am able to catch the traffic on the website. In that case only use the concept of subdomain, and the subdomain word generally refers with the help of www, and what is the full form of www? World Wide Web. Next is called complete root domain, host domain, pay level domain. The full form of PLD is what? See, in this particular video you are having lots of full forms, so you need to write down or note down in the book also. So in future if you want to refer the full form, at that time it becomes easier. So PLD stands for pay level domain or second level domain. Now see, what is the first level domain? Suppose www.yourdomain.com, in that particular URL, .com stands for first level domain, your domain stands for second level domain. So remember one thing, that these four are the terms which can be used with the help of second level domain or host level domain or pay level domain or complete root domain. So remember one thing, that when you want to pay some fees regarding the domain name, at that time you are paying your fees for the second level domain, or we can say that is the complete root domain, right, or host domain, for which you are going to pay the fees to the search engine. So the domain name you need to register or pay for, and the one U point DNS, DNS stands for domain name server, right. DNS settings towards it, that is the second level domain. In this URL called http www.yourdomain.com page.html, yourdomain.com is the second level domain, and for which you need to pay to the search engine. You just need to register your website with the help of second level domain, and when you are going to register that particular website, at that time with the help of registered domain name, you are able to access your website. Now other naming conventions may refer to this as a root or pay level domain. That is the first home website, or we can say that is the root domain through which you are able to access all the pages which are connected or associated with your website. So in this particular video we are going to learn different concepts which are based on the root domain, subdomain and microsites. In our first slide, what we have learned, that whether your website is new or old, that means whether you are going to create new website or whether you are going to restructure your website, at that time first thing you need to keep in mind is what, you just need to decide the domain name of your website, the subfolders as well as subdomains you are going to create within the website, and when to employ microsites. These all are the things which you need to decide when you are going to create or create new website, or when you are going to apply restructuring of your existing website. Now first term is what, individual pages and URL. What is the concept of individual pages or URL? First of all, you need to take example of URL. Inside URL, separate individual pages. Individual pages is nothing but the pages which is related with the website, and with the help of file name. In future also, when you want to retrieve that file, with the help of file name you are able to access it from the computer. But remember one thing, that whatever the name of your file, it must be unique document. Next is called subfolder. As we have discussed, that subfolder gives you the facility to inherit the pages which are connected with the search engine and which are associated with the website. Now we have taken one example over here. We have created post17.html page inside blog folder, and remember one thing, that when your website contains lots of pages and you want to arrange it in the category wise, at that time you can use the concept of subfolder. So related file will be located using the subfolder, and in future when you want to retrieve such kind of file, it becomes easier to access those files. Next is called subdomain, fully qualified domain and third level domain. In this particular slide, we have taken first the example of blog.yourdomain.com. As I have told you, that if you are sure, in such cases also, in such case only you can use the concept of subdomain. Why? Because from the subdomain your site is going to access. I have given the example of Google Map. You can search for the Google Map using Google Maps directly, or you can use map.google.com, right. So map is the subdomain associated with the second level domain called Google, right. So in this particular link, we have separated top level domain, second level domain or third level domain. Instead top level domain, you can also use first level domain, right, or root domain. So top level domain is called .com. Generally top level domain is used for what purpose? When you want to retrieve the information regarding the website, that means for which purpose my website is created or for which purpose my website is working, that thing I can get with the help of top level domain. Second level domain is what? That is the name of your website or for which you have paid the fees to the search engine. That is, in our example, your domain is the second level domain. The third level domain is called blog, and in the case of maps.google.com, maps is called the third level domain. And remember one thing, that third level domain also referred as a subdomain. So when it is asked in the exam, it may ask using second level subdomain or third level domain. Both are equal, and you can use the concept of subdomain with the help of www. Next slide is related with the complete root domain, host domain, pay level domains or second level domain. These all are the terms which can be used with each other. That means complete root domain means what? For which you are going to pay for the for registering your domain in the search engine, and that is also called second level domain or host domain. Over here we have taken the example of different kinds of URL, as well as we have separated pay level domain and fully qualified domain out of this particular examples, right. So let us refer first URL, http www.distil-ed.co.uk. Inside that, blog, distil-ed, the rewards of engagement. So remember one thing, that this particular URL is associated with the United Kingdom. How we can get? With the help of this particular domain, right, that is called top domain, right, co.uk. So from that I can get that this particular website is registered under the domain United Kingdom. Now see, this is the second level domain for which you have paid, so that is called pay level domain. And www.distil-ed.co.uk, this is called fully qualified domain, FQD. Fully qualified domain means what? With the help of www, you just need to apply the name for which you are going to pay, that is called pay level domain, and the last is called top level domain. So this is called fully qualified domain. Blog, distil-ed, these both are called subfolders which has been created inside this particular pay level domain, and inside distil-ed we have created one page called the rewards of engagement. So and when you are going to access this particular page with the help of pay level domain, fully qualified domain, it becomes URL, and URL means what? Uniform resource locator, through which you are able to access the pages which are created inside the domain. Next example is called www.seomoz.org. What is the full form of org? Organization. This is called .co.uk. That means the website has been working, or we can say domain is registered under the United Kingdom, and website is working for the commercial purpose. So seomoz.org, that is called pay level domain. www.seomoz.org, that is called fully qualified domain. Inside that domain we have created one folder called blog. Inside blog we have created one page that is called whiteboard Friday developing a link hook. That means this particular page is associated with the blog. Similarly, this particular page has been developed under this particular folder. Now, third example is what? yahoo.client.shareholders.com. Remember one thing, that over here we have used the concept of subdomain, right? Yahoo.client is a subdomain. Pay level domain means what? For which you have paid for in the search engine, that is shareholders, right? So this is the domain for which you have paid, but we have used the concept of subdomain over here, and yahoo.client is the subdomain we have used over here, because I am sure that with the help of yahoo.client, user is going to search for the management.cfm. What is the full form of CFM? Connectivity fault management, right? That is the full form of CFM. I am going to repeat the full form of CFM, connectivity fault management. So this particular website has been working for finding the fault in the connectivity. So this is called pay level domain, this is called fully qualified domain. See, this is called the concept of subfolder. In these three examples we have used different ways of pages which is connected with the domain, right? In this particular website, this is called subdomain, and inside subdomain we have created one page, right? This is the example of pay level domain, and this is called fully qualified domain. And when you apply whole link in the URL in the search engine, that becomes URL. In this particular example we have taken sub folder also, because inside block folder we have created dis till ed, that is the second subfolder which placed inside the blog. Similarly, in the last example we have created, or we have used the concept of subdomain through which people is going to visit your website. In this particular link we have not taken the example of subfolder. Remember one thing, don't create confusion between the concept of subfolder and concept of subdomain. Both are different. See, over here we have created, or we have used the concept of subfolder. Over here we have used the concept of subdomain. And if you are going to sure that using the concept of subdomain people is going to visit your website, in that case only use the concept of subdomain. And in this particular last example we have directly created page called management.cfm inside the URL. So over here this all example represents the URL, different kinds of URL. Now the question raised in the mind is what? When to use a subfolder and when to use subdomain. So if a subfolder will work if it is the best choice 99.9% of the time. Keep the content in the single root domain and single subdomain, which gives the maximum SEO benefit. As the search engine will maintain all the positive metrics, the site earns around the links, authority and trust, and will apply this to every page of your website. So remember one thing, that when you are going to use single root domain or single subdomain regarding the website, with the help of using single root domain you are able to access the maximum traffic or maximum advantage of SEO. So when you are going to create subfolder within the website, that is the best choice you have selected. Next is called when to use subfolder. If your marketing team decide to promote a URL that is completely unique in the content, as we know that map is the unique feature of Google, right? So in that cases, marketing team is going to decide and going to promote such kind of URL that is completely unique in the content or purpose, and would like to use a catchy subdomain. To do it, using a subdomain can be practical. So maps.google.com is the example where the marketing considerations make a subdomain an acceptable choice. So in this particular example we have taken maps.google.com, and the marketing team of Google are sure that when we are going to promote such kind of URL which represents unique content and new idea, when you are going to apply new idea which other domain does not provide, at that time you can use the concept of subdomain. See, this is the worst case and best case scenario. If you have created one site which contains only one subfolder, and inside one subfolder you have created different kinds of pages, it is the example of worst case scenario. Suppose if your website contains only, see, home page is there, right? You do not have put any pages using your domain.com, right? So you can directly link this particular pages with the your domain. Yes, naturally if you want to create some other subfolders inside the website, at that time it is okay and it gives you the better output, right? But if your website contains only one sub folder, in such cases avoid to use subfolder concept, right? You can directly link all the pages which are associated with the website, and when you connect it directly with the URL, it becomes the better result, or with the help of this you are easily able to catch the traffic on the website. So I think this is more than enough for our today's session. This topic is still incompleted. We will see this topic in next video also. Still, this particular concept, when to use separate sorry, when to use separate root domain, and the concept of microsites are still pending. We will refer it in our next video. Thank you all.